walking down the stairs while she's having trouble breathing and she's feeling weak. To leave the next day, due to how she's feeling. The OBGYN tells Amber, well, I don't understand why you're not able to girl, right now, right now, watch this and stuff that. Yes, now with the steam, Abraham in the morning on. Well, you have a list? May I see it? Who is it that must not have beats? Well, there they are. She writes on Amber's FMLA forms and recognize that FMLA. Yeah, see her tweeting up this storm. Of course, she's upset because this entire time she's been dealing with the mountains and that's what she stated that she wanted to write it. So her treatment that she was receiving, that's what that tweet was about. Now, that makes sense for death that went viral because that was that's a uniquely free from her that everyone got to see. About April 18th, they call it about 8:30 in the morning and tell us that we need to immediately everybody needs to come in for treatment. I ended up getting out about this week, trying to advocate for him because she was being neglected for so long. And they were trying to make her be alone by herself, and she answered that. I get referred to as Mr. Lee. Yeah, being Evans' grandfather. They didn't know what she had or what was going on with her. They, kept. It's got to be recent. Yeah, COVID. It's after 3 times for they came back negative. They found out they had to induce her labor because they found out she had HELP syndrome, which is an elevation of the blood and liver enzymes. Her platelets had deteriorated and dropped down to the 40s. So her blood was becoming more and more water-like, and her blood was not clotting. She calls me. For traveling with kids can be a lot, but RV travel made this trip surprisingly. During the day, I got to ride bikes around the campground, play at the park, swim in the springs, and just explore outside. And our son, he can nap anywhere. And at night, we're pack a bag for our son that we're going to have our son's 3 days premature. Get back to the hospital. They're not allowing me to be alone. Told us due to COVID regulations, you can't hold her hand, you can't sit next to her, you have to sit on the far side of the room. The nurse is rushing in, she's telling us all of these different procedures, the risk factors to these procedures, and telling us that these are very low risk factors. We come in about 30 minutes after that. They're telling us that they have to perform a C-section, knowing that her blood is not clotting. But we agreed to it. We're thinking that these are medical professionals. We have Amber in mind. They have my son in mind. I see that she's frightened. She's hyperventilating. Trying to, show up for her like she's always shown up for me. And telling her this is the last. When you go RVing, what new adventures will you discover just beyond the door? Say, and we get to go home with our son. Her last words to me are, "Yes, we're going home. All 3 of us are going home." They told me that they're getting ready to put her under, and like going to be in the operation room. and wheeling off. And unfortunately, that was the last time I seen Evelyn was Isaac alive. Hearing over the intercom that they need all medical professional staff to Amber's room. And they had to say that she was a non-COVID patient 3 times before people really started. Man, shit is nobody sharing with me. I see them rushing out. Are they throwing out back up? He looks in my face in complete shock. And I knew that something was going on. She says no, they had to cut her open again and perform an emergency hysterectomy. They thought the bleeding was coming from her uterus. Uterus to find out that's not where the bleeding was coming from. What so they put it directly on her for no reason. And I'm thinking to myself, Amber is going to be pissed when she wakes up because we planned on having a second child after Elias. They massaged her heart manually for over 2 hours. She passed away a month before receiving her master's degree. Losing Amber has been tough. Being a single father has been tough. I just think about what could have been and what should have been. I think about the life that we would have had together. For the first year, it was very hard for me to sleep in a room and sleep in the bed that we once shared together. I had to be the nurturer now, so I had to be the nurturer and the provider because stop after that. I still hear her voice in my head, even though she's not. Tools get you good work. It works, gets here. I still want to co-parent with her. I still want to raise our child the way that she imagined for us. He knows who his mom is and he speaks to his mother. Immediately after Amber's passing, I jumped into advocacy work. Amber advocated for herself time and time and time again, and she was being ignored. So I felt like it was time to get men involved and to educate ourselves on reproductive wellness, reproductive justice, and how we can show up as better support partners. I started the Save Rose Foundation immediately after losing her. What we do at the Save Rose Foundation is we aim to combat and dismantle the systemic flaws within the medical system and redirect the person burning equity towards better burning solutions. We do lose white women also to the healthcare system. But when it comes to black women, these numbers, I like to and you notice right here, these are made with sorghum flour, not rice, not potato, not cassava, but sorghum, which is a drought tolerant crop that has nutritional and environmental. Now, and Amber's Auto, we've been, combating those and those systemic issues. Just see, these conversations being what's up, what's up, what's up? Best way that I feel like I can honor her is by marking her place on this earth and having her become a part of history forever. She is seen pretty. Last words to me are yes, we're going home. All three of us are going. I got there now 13. Just a little bit more about control. I told you that. You came here to cut my daughter convinced that you wanted to work things out. You took her 3 months away. 18. She's 14. You go for yourself with a 14. No, I'm not going to do it. Serious us. I'm sorry, your son, but if it does comes back, you're mad through you were on the father. I was 15 straight. I got her in a 13. Just